The bucket hit Rosa before she could stand up. She had been on her knees scrubbing the marble floor of the east corridor when she heard the footsteps. By the time she turned, Victoria Hargrove was already standing over her with two maids behind her, and the third was holding the bucket with both hands, waiting for the instruction. Victoria gave it. The water was cold and gray from the cleaning supply closet. It came in a single motion, drenching Rosa's hair, her uniform. Her hands still curled around the scrubbing brush. The maids behind Victoria watched without moving. Rosa stayed on her knees. The marble floor spread the water in every direction in perfect silence. Victoria crouched down so that her face was level with Rosa's. She told her that this house had standards, and that the floors she had been scrubbing for the past 3 days were still not clean enough to meet them. She said it the way people speak when they want the room to hear not just the words, but the power behind them. Then she stood up, smoothed her dress, and walked back toward the staircase. What she did not know, what no one in that corridor knew, was that the security camera mounted in the upper corner of the East Hall had been recording since 6 o'clock that morning. Before we continue, if you believe that cruelty performed in private always finds its way to the light, please take a second to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who has ever been made to feel invisible inside the walls of someone else's home. Tell us where you are watching from today. Every comment reminds us that what happens behind closed doors is never truly hidden. Rosa Delgado was 28 years old and had been working in private households since she was 20. She was careful, thorough, and almost entirely silent in her work, which was a quality that employers sometimes mistook for simplicity, and that Rosa had long stopped trying to correct. She had grown up in a small house in New Mexico with her grandmother, who had raised her after her parents left separately and at different times, and who had taught her that the way a person cleaned a room said everything about how they understood their own worth. Rosa cleaned rooms like they mattered. She had come to the Hargrove estate 6 weeks earlier, not through an agency, but through a personal recommendation from a woman named Eleanor Hargrove, Daniel Hargrove's mother, who lived in an assisted care facility 40 minutes outside the city. Rosa had worked as Eleanor's private caregiver for 2 years. She had read to her, cooked for her, sat with her through the long nights when the medication made sleep impossible. She had learned Eleanor's favorite music, her preferred type of tea, and the particular way she needed her pillows arranged to relieve the pressure on her shoulder. Eleanor had loved Rosa the way people love those who see them clearly and stay anyway. When Eleanor's condition progressed and the facility's medical team took over full-time care, she had asked Rosa to go to the family home for a while. She said her son's house needed someone who understood what it meant to care for something. She said it without explaining what she meant, because she trusted that Rosa would understand. Rosa had understood. Victoria Hargrove had not been expecting her, and had not been pleased when she arrived. She was a woman who arranged everything in her life according to a system she had designed, and to which she admitted no amendments. Rosa was an amendment. She was also young and dark-haired and visibly capable, which created in Victoria a particular variety of discomfort she chose to express as criticism. The floors were never clean enough. The silver was never polished correctly. The linens were always a shade off, folded wrong, pressed at the wrong temperature. Victoria found something wrong with Rosa's work every single day. And every single day Rosa corrected it without comment that she did not do this because she was afraid. She did it because Eleanor had asked her to be there, and because the woman who had asked her was someone Rosa intended to keep her promise to. Daniel Hargrove had been in Berlin for 11 days on a project that had run 2 weeks over schedule. He landed at 7 in the morning on a Thursday, drove directly from the airport, and walked through the front door of his house at 9:40. The estate manager met him in the foyer with a look that Daniel had worked with long enough to read. Immediately, he was told that there had been an incident. He was shown the security camera footage from the East Hall on a tablet. He watched it twice. He did not say anything during either viewing. He set the tablet down on the foyer table and asked where Rosa was. She was in the staff quarters, changing out of her wet uniform. She had not told anyone what happened. She had not cried. She had rinsed her hands at the utility sink. found a dry set of work clothes in her bag, and gone back to the corridor to finish the floor. Daniel found her in the East Hall with the scrubbing brush. He asked her to stop. He asked her if she was all right. She said she was fine. He asked her how long it had been going on, and she told him only about the floor, because the floor was the part she could quantify. He sat down on the marble beside her, which was something she had not expected. He told her that his mother had called him from the facility 3 days ago, that she had asked him to check on Rosa, that he had been too busy to call back, and that he was going to carry that for a long time. Then he told her what his mother had said about her. All of it, the nights, the music, the tea, the way Rosa had learned every detail of what Eleanor needed before Eleanor had to ask. Rosa looked at the floor. Daniel said that the woman who had cared for his mother the way Rosa had was not going to spend another hour on her knees in his house because of someone else's fear. He stood. He offered his hand. Rosa took it. Victoria Hargrove received a formal notification from the family's legal representative. The following afternoon, the estate manager was given the camera footage for documentation. 3 staff members who had witnessed what happened provided statements. Rosa stayed in the Hargrove house for another 4 months until Eleanor asked to come home, and until the room that had been prepared for her was ready and clean and exactly the way she liked it. Eleanor came home on a Saturday in October. Rosa had arranged the pillows the right way. There was tea on the table. The music was already playing. Some people perform kindness for an audience. Rosa Delgado performed it in empty rooms for people who sometimes couldn't remember her name the next morning, without any expectation that it would ever be witnessed. It was always witnessed. It always mattered. If this story moved you, please like this video, share it with someone who does quiet, invisible work that the world doesn't always see, and subscribe for more stories about the people who show up with everything they have for those who need them most. Special request: before you leave, please comment the words "clean rooms" if you believe that the way a person treats those who serve them says everything about who they truly are. We read every comment, and yours matters more than you know.